Silver did a whole lot of nothing today, but that's actually good news. It's also bad news. I'll explain why in this video as we explore. The good news is that silver is holding on to some of the gains that we talked about. I would love to see silver break a record in terms of the number of days above $50 an ounce. And so far, it's got about a $1.45 cushion there. And we're heading into the Thanksgiving holiday week. And nonetheless, this is something at a time where usually we would see some selling or not much activity. And to some extent, that may be part of what's going on here today. But there's an onslaught of economic data that have been released. Those are the words of Jim Wyckoff over at Kitco. We're going to get into what he's got to say about it and also discuss about what happened in the markets today. Now, Summit Metals is a channel sponsor. They've got great customer service and fast shipping and a wide selection of products. So check them out in the description below. And if you ever hear those words from any of these AI channels, you know for sure they're an AI channel, because they're not sponsored. It's free advertising for Summit Metals, but stay away from those AI channels. Another one was pointed out to me by a member of the community. Here you're going to get real human interaction. This is a human hand right here. Yes, indeed, that human hand that likes to hold on to silver with a diamond fist, including this Salivate Metal Round, which is also available at Summit Metals. Check that out in the link in the description below as well. Gold and silver prices are higher in midday. U.S. trading as traders are in the middle of a two-day barrage of U.S. economic data releases that so far are showing a mixed bag. And of course, it's late in the day now, but the prices are reacting and to what's going on with some of these data that have been released. Retail sales of U.S. increased 0.2% month over month in September compared to market expectations of 0.4% rise and a 0.6% gain in August. That's a bad news for sure with retail sales, and so therefore more likely that's going to affect what the Federal Reserve is going to do. Silver is up 5 cents right now, a 0.1% increase of $51.47. Gold is actually down in reporting here today. Gold is down $3.40 to $4,132.70. Rhodium is down. Platinum and palladium are both up slightly. This has changed the gold to silver ratio to 80.46. And 80 is the number we got to get used to for a while now. I think that's going to be the new normal for the gold to silver ratio. Now, the producer prices have risen by 0.3% from the previous month, rebounding from the unexpected 0.1% reduction in the August report. U.S. private employers shed an average of 13,500 jobs per week in the 4 weeks ending November the 8th, a sharp increase from the week prior. So that's more bad news. U.S. business inventories were unchanged month over month in August, with a downwardly revised 0.1% increase in July compared with market forecasts of a 0.1% rise. October U.S. pending home sales rose by 1.9% from the previous month, gaining traction from the revised 0.1% increase in the previous month and well above the preliminary estimate of 0.5% gain. That's good news. So all these numbers are sort of a mixed bag as we see here. The U.S. 5th District Service Sector Survey showed a contraction in activity in November 2025, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of Richmond, Virginia. The revenues index fell -4 from 4, while demand held steady at 4. Expectations for future revenues and demand improved and remained in positive territory. The local business conditions index slid from -15 to -1, though the outlook brightened from a 4 to -3. The U.S. Consumer Confidence Index for November came in at 88.7, which was weaker than market expectations. So another bit of bad news here. A lot of data we're dealing with. A lot of this stuff has been delayed due to the government shutdown, but it is coming through now and making its way to us, and it's being digested by the markets in general, and specifically precious metals are reacting in strong fare here. Now, Wednesday comes the weekly jobless claims report, durable goods and the second estimate of third quarter GDP and advanced economic indicators report, the Chicago ISM Business Survey, personal income and outlays, including the fifth key inflation gauges, new residential sales, a weekly Department of Energy liquid energy stocks report, and the Federal Reserve Beige Book. So a lot of more information coming out tomorrow. The key outside markets saw the U.S. dollar index lower. Crude oil prices are down, hit a 5-week low, and are trading around $57.50 a barrel as of the recording or as of the writing of that article. But the dollar index is down for sure. It is down below 100 again. It's 99.82, a 0.38% drop, and that is absolutely reacting. Silver's reacting positively. Gold, though, is actually down a little bit more now. And oil is actually to $57.91. It's recovered some of those losses. Now, the yield on the benchmark 10-year U.S. Treasury note is presently around 4.02. What's the Fed thinking now? Well, the dynamics and calculus have changed a little bit, back to a little bit more of a hawkish stance, very, very slightly, with regards to what the Federal Reserve is going to be doing. Now at 82.7% chance that the Federal Reserve will cut rates by a quarter point. That is about a 2% tick almost from yesterday, where it was 84.4% chance that the Federal Reserve is going to cut rates by a quarter point. So very interesting indeed to see these numbers move in that way. Fascinating. And seeing silver hold on to above $50 an ounce is great news. Above $51 is even greater news, but with a mixed economic numbers. And so therefore, I would much rather see very, very strong economic numbers with a slow, steady growth, perhaps, and silver fall back a bit. It's nice, especially when you want to buy, for sure. But I'm all for a strong economy. It may be good for some of us channels when silver goes up so much, but for some of the reasons why it goes up, we don't like. We would rather see strong economic conditions here in the United States. And so far, we're struggling a little bit, but there are good and bad news. And of course, a lot of it is trying to get ourselves up out of the mess we were in when inflation was over 9.1%. And other economic slowness that has been occurring since then because of inflation and other price changes. There's a lot of different factors that are coming into play here. And so as we watch and see what happens. Now, on the geopolitical front, there is a more renewed hope that we may see an end to the Russia-Ukraine war. There is some positive feedback from Ukraine on a revised deal that is being put through, or it's being reviewed right now by both sides, being revised. And as those revisions come in, we don't know the details of them yet as of the recording of this video, but nonetheless, that's some promising news, but we won't know until it actually happens, and anything can change for sure. I think given this hope, and given that silver prices are still up, gold prices pulling back a little bit, if we do see talks stall and break through or fail, then watch gold and silver continue to climb, and maybe climb even more dramatically than they have in the past. But as I record this video, silver is now down just by a fraction of a cent at this point in time, but it pretty much has done nothing today overall. It's been moving a little bit here and there. It did go up to $51.79, and as low as $50.63. So that's a pretty big gap between the two. It's well over $1 movement today. But still, as of right now, moments before the markets close, are just kind of sitting there with not much movement at all, like literally a fraction of a cent down. But what I find amazing about this is that here we are, one more trading day. I think the markets are definitely closed on Thanksgiving. I'm not sure about Friday. We're going to watch the overall world markets as they affect the price of gold and silver, but likely it's probably going to be a fairly light trading from here on out, which means that we may very well could see a record breaker of 10 days of silver staying above $50 an ounce. 9 days was the previous record. I'm looking for that as new support for silver above $50 an ounce. I still think it's going to be relatively weak overall, because I think as things come together, deals are made, and more positive economic news comes into play. Even if we see a rate cut in December, we could see a pause for the next few times if that does occur. For spite, if anything, because the Jerome Powell's going to be on his way out. So we may start to see things normalize with silver and gold and consolidate. And that consolidation very well could take silver below $50 an ounce. Look out for that. But hey, we can celebrate and break another record. That's what I'm looking for. We'll see if it happens by the end of the week and into next week. So there you have it. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. If you enjoy what I do here, I hope you will consider subscribing to the channel, pressing that notifications bell so that you can be apprised of the latest video that makes its way across your device. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.